listen to, and then I'll give you guys like 5 quick minutes, and we're gonna watch a video. But let's hear Lisa's story. Come on. Lisa is a movie coach, the Beachbody Challenge winner that's gonna chat with us, and Success Club All-Star.
Hey guys, thanks for being here. So honestly, I have not, Tanya asked me to do this over a month ago, and I have not thought about it. I did not write notes because I didn't want to make myself crazy, and I would have done that. In fact, I went to bed last night and I actually thought about it for a minute, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that because my story is my story, and I can't possibly forget it, so God will just help me tell it. And that's the way I'm doing this. So I'm going to wing it. So actually, I'm going to take you back a few years before Beachbody. It kind of sounds like a country song. My mom died. I lost my house in Hurricane Wilma. I was in a hotel for 3.5 months. My house was gutted. I had ACL surgery. I broke my knee at work, so I was out of work. And then I had a sick dog that ended up dying. So that was my life. I became depressed, miserable, and it got to the point where I was really scared. I felt as though my mom was my best friend, so all those other things happening after that really hit me hard. And I had a history of depression prior to that, and that was when I worked with mental health, detox, and psych for many years. So I always heard of depression, but I never knew it was real until I suffered it myself. So I had had a history of depression, and I knew that I didn't want to go there. However, I was falling into that space. Right before Beachbody, I was in my home. I was working, and then I quit working for temporarily to be home with my dog. And as sick as that sounds, but I got to a spot where I did not know what to do with myself. I was sitting there with a sick dog, and I literally didn't want to do anything else. And I got scared one day, and I said, this can't be it. This has to change because I don't want to go back to where I was. And I didn't know what to do, but I remembered I had P90X in my cabinet that I had bought years prior and never used. So I said, if I'm going to do something, it has to start with me. So I said, I'm going to try this P90X thing. Not quite sure what I was thinking because it was hard. So I broke out these DVDs, and literally in the beginning I did, I think, 3 to 5 minutes most.
Oh my.
And I couldn't do any more. I had gained weight. I was never a heavy person, but I was 48 years old at this time, and I hit menopause, so I blew up like a balloon. None of my clothes fit. I didn't want to leave the house. And I knew something needed to be done. So I broke out these DVDs, and I attempted to do them, and said, what the heck am I doing? I can't do them. But I said, no, I made a commitment, I'm going to do these. So 3 minutes, and then 4 minutes, and then 5 minutes, and eventually I got to 15 and 20 minutes, and the day I completed the Plyo DVD, the whole thing, I just thought I was on top of the world. It was like, oh my God, I did this, and I puked in a bucket. But in the process of that, I was getting stronger and more confident. And I wasn't so much losing the weight at that point. Halfway through the program, I was gaining muscle and strength and confidence, but my jeans still didn't fit. And it wasn't until, I don't know, I did the program for a long time, and I completed it. I did a couple other programs, but honestly, it wasn't until the 21-Day Fix came out that I had these jeans nailed to my wall for 2 years. They were in my bedroom, nailed to the wall, and people would come over and say, why are those up there? And I said, because I'm going to fit into them one day. I had blue jeans for 30 years I refused to give away. I don't like the new jeans they have today. They're not like the old jeans. They're not real denim. They're stretchy. And, I'm a blue jeans and boots kind of girl, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to get into these one day. And anyway, so through this whole process, I became more confident, but I never really paid much attention to what was happening until I looked back at it. I never filled out the Beachbody Challenge forms. I never, I just did my thing. It was about myself at that point. It was about not wanting to be that old lady sitting in the house by herself with her animals, crying or maybe dying. And that was the place I was at when I started. So it became about myself just getting healthy. I had IBS. I had adrenal fatigue. I had no cortisol, not low cortisol. And when I started P90X, I had a torn tendon in my finger, which was my excuse at first. I can't do it because my finger hurt. But I heard Tony Horton say something down here in Miami, and he said that if your upper body hurts, do your lower body. And if your lower body hurts, do your upper body. And if your upper and your lower body hurts, then do your abs. There's no excuse. So I had this silly thing on my finger, and I would look at it, and I would say, this is crazy. It's a finger. I have a cousin who has no use of his legs. He lost them many years ago. And he was Mr. Handicap Olympia. And, I had to think of this and say, my cousin, who is my hero, does more than me, and I'm complaining about my finger. Like, get over it, And so I did it. And anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going all over the place. I guess I should have wrote notes, but but anyway, so let's get to the Beachbody Challenge. So my confidence grew. I lost weight, but I didn't lose most of my weight until I got to the 21-day fix. And after 2 weeks into the 21-day fix, those jeans came off the wall. I felt lean. I felt cocky. And I said, you know what, those things, I'm going to try them. And before I started the 21-day fix, they got up to about here. I couldn't get them any further. And 2 weeks into the 21-day fix, I said, well, you know what, let me give this a shot. And they not only came up, but they closed and they were loose. And my jaw dropped. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe, I've been doing these other things for a long time. However, this is crazy. So at that point in time, I decided, I think it was right before that I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I was bored. And at the time I was living with a man and his 3 children. And I had to stay really quiet in the house at night, because everybody had work and school the next day. And it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And I was sitting at the computer, and I said, oh, you know what? Let me just fill out this thing and get a T-shirt. That's all I wanted was a T-shirt. And they asked all these questions, and I kind of I don't have a big attention span, so I didn't really want to answer them all. So I kind of just winged it, put in basics, do the stuff, and oh yeah, I did this program, blah, 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 blah. And I really didn't give it my all, filling it out, just thinking, okay, I just want a T-shirt, 3 o'clock in the morning, I never got one of these, let me get one. And never thought much about it, submitted the thing, and a few months later, I guess it was, my coach at the time called me and said, did you get the email? I said, what email? She said, you won $1,000. I said, what do you mean I won $1,000? She said, did you get it? I said, no, I deleted it. I deleted everything. So I went back to my deleted mail, and I found I won $1,000 from Beachbody. It was very cool. I was excited. Wow, an extra $1,000. Who can't use this? But the funnier part was you'd think I'd pay more attention to my email after that. Because then I got another email a couple months later that I deleted again. And I won to go to Vegas for the Beachbody Challenge. However, I didn't know that, because what happened was, it was my dog's birthday. It was May 8th, 2014. We were on the way to the park to celebrate my dog's birthday. And I got a phone call from Beachbody, and I saw it said California. I said, who's calling me? It's got to be Beachbody. Why are they calling me? So I answered the phone. And they asked if it was me, and I said, yeah. And they said, are you going to Summit this year? And I said, actually, I was thinking of not going. And they said, well, that's going to really be a problem. And I said, why is that? They said, because you are a finalist for the Beachbody Challenge. And I was like, oh my God. And like, I was in shock, and I had all the kids in the car and the dog, and we were going on a party at the park. And I didn't think that it was, I didn't think they really knew who they were picking, because I was, I think, 51 at the time. I said, you realize I'm 51 years old? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, are you sure you're picking me? And they're like, yeah, but you can't tell anybody. I was like, what do you mean I can't tell anybody? And they're like, well, we're just telling you, they said you've won $25,000. And like, when somebody tells you that, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I never won money for my body when I was 20 or 30. So I did a lot of things, in my 20s and 30s, but it was really mind-blowing to think, like, are you sure? Because, like, I'm 50 now. This is kind of crazy. They're like, yeah, can you go? And I was like, of course I can go. They're like, we'll pay your hotel and your airfare and your this and your... I was like, are you sure? And it was like a 10-minute conversation, because I really didn't believe them. I thought somebody was just like pulling some kind of prank on me, like punking me. And yeah, so that's what happened. So it was cool, because they said that I was up for the $100,000. And it was a very strange feeling, because I couldn't tell anybody. For like 2 months. It was like, here you go, but you can't tell anybody now for 2 months till we give you the okay. I was like, okay, so who do you do? What do? You don't tell anybody, you want to go to social media right away and write something, but you can't. It was a very strange feeling. But you know what? The bottom line, it wasn't really about the money. Vegas was fun. They flew me to Vegas. They paid for a room. The limo picked you up and went on stage, and I'm not all about that fancy recognition stuff, so I was pretty scared. But it was a great experience. But I think my best experience is where I've come from then till now. And I think sometimes, and I know they just recently talked about it at leadership. People are getting away from the fact of the transformations and the helping people. And it's starting to become more about, like, how many people can I get and how many points can I get? And you know what? What attracted me to Beachbody was it gave me my life back. It took this person who literally thought, like, I was going to die. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to call. And I didn't know what was going to become of me. And I took this silly program out of my cabinet and tried it, and even though I couldn't do it in the beginning, I worked hard and I did it, which in turn gave me the confidence to do more and to come out of my shell, and then more so to work on my mindset. So, the Beachbody Challenge, yeah, it's great. You know what? I won $25,000. It was amazing. However, the other stuff that I got from that was so much more. Today I'm a totally different person than I was. My thinking is so different today. It's positive. It's, the stories we tell ourselves, there's always a different perception. There's always 2 or 3 different perceptions, and you can be in a certain situation thinking something, but try and stop and look at it a different way, And to me, that's the greatest part of this Beachbody Challenge thing. And I think we need to take more time to send people to do this, to go get that t-shirt, not so much, become a coach, yeah, it's great, you can make extra money, but make your first goal getting that t-shirt, because I think by doing that, as it did for me, it gives you the confidence and the mindset that you need, because with the exercise, we learn to do the personal development. We learn to, be in the positive community. We pull people out of those terrible places that they're coming from in their mind. So I guess I'm supposed to be telling you all about the Beachbody Challenge, but, for me, that was just bonus to everything else that I've gotten from this community, you know, and it started with the program, and it didn't end with a t-shirt, and in fact, I don't know, I guess I can say, you know, my mindset today is more important. What I've learned with my mindset today is more important than the weight that I've lost, you know. Yes, I wouldn't want to be back there and not fit into the blue jeans, okay? I wouldn't want that. But if I had to choose more weight and not the mindset I have today, I think I would want the mindset. Because I know that can help me out of anywhere. You know, it's like the choices you were saying, like the choices you make with things, there's always a choice, you know. We can stay in fear or we can stay with faith and love. You know, that's a big difference, you know. We can let faith guide us or we can let fear guide us in anything. You know, we can be positive or we can be negative. You know, we can look at somebody in a negative way and not think like, oh, what are they going through today? What are they thinking? Maybe something happened to them. Maybe, you know, they have an issue. We don't know. So the mindset to me is more important than the weight loss. But the Beachbody Challenge was amazing. Yes, I lost 33 pounds. And it was good.